Have you ever wanted to make mac and cheese silky smooth without having to use Kraft singles or Velveeta? Or maybe make it without milk for digestive or lower calorie reasons, or maybe make it 100% vegan? Well, let me introduce you to this magical pixie dust known as sodium citrate, a food grade crystalline salt that can help you make velvety mac and cheese however you want it.
Hey everyone, I'm Ethan, a home cooking nerd who likes to find better ways to cook and share them with all of you. Today we're going to take a look at sodium citrate, specifically for mac and cheese, but we'll also go over how it works, because this is a pretty useful ingredient for the home cook, and I'll show you those recipes that I mentioned in the intro along the way, so let's dive in.
Sodium citrate is a salt derived from a citric acid fermentation, sometimes called sour salt. And a $10 bag is going to last you a long time, unless you're making cheese dip every day, I guess. And it's added to all sorts of foods as an emulsifier, a preservative, or a buffer, so you probably consume it anyway. But for purposes of this video, we'll only be focusing on its emulsification properties. So to start, let's repeat a quick experiment from the food lab. Take a slice of American cheese and melt it, and then do the same with some cheddar cheese. And you'll see the American cheese will melt smoothly and it won't separate apart, whereas the cheddar breaks, separating into fat, protein, and water. I mean, just look at that fat drip. Why is this? Well, it's because American cheese has stabilizers like sodium citrate. So do you see where I'm going with this? We now have sodium citrate at our literal fingertips. So let's run another experiment. First, I added 10 grams of water to 2 bowls and added 1 gram of sodium citrate and then stirred it to dissolve before adding about 50 grams of grated cheddar cheese. Then I threw this in the microwave for 15 seconds, mixed them, and 15 more seconds in the microwave. The one without sodium citrate, not the most appetizing in the world. It has completely split. However, when you compare that to the pourable one with sodium citrate, it's wild. It's perfectly melty for some tortilla chips. So now this means that our equation to make a gooey and velvety cheese sauce is as simple as pick a cheese and note the weight down. Add a half part liquid, it does depend a little bit on the liquid you're using, then add 2 to 3% by weight of sodium citrate before slowly heating it and mixing it together. That's it. For example, wielding this new power, you can make a beer cheese in an instant by adding 100 grams of shredded cheddar cheese, 50 grams of beer, and 3% sodium citrate by weight of the cheese to a container. Add a spoonful of mustard, a sprinkle of garlic powder, and smoked paprika. Give it a mix up, then microwave for 40 seconds. Mix it up again, 45 more seconds in the microwave, repeat it, and it's perfect for eating some chips or a soft pretzel. And if you're wondering where I got this microwave, dishwasher, and freezer-safe container, let me tell you about ZipTop, who sponsored today's video. ZipTop containers are made in the USA with 100% platinum silicone that won't leach harmful chemicals like plastics can. They are BPA, lead, PVC, and phthalates free. And the average American family can use up to 2,000 plastic bags a year, whereas one ZipTop can replace up to 5,000 disposable ones. There are a variety of sets and sizes, so if you need to store some mac and cheese after this video, use code ETHANC for 15% off your order. Okay, cool. So we get how sodium citrate works, but how does this affect mac and cheese? Well, it essentially eliminates the need for common thickeners like roux, cornstarch, cream, eggs, or milk. For example, a 10 or 15 minute stovetop version is adding 112 grams of macaroni to a skillet or pot, then you fill it with water, bring it to a boil for 5 minutes while stirring occasionally to avoid sticking, and then meanwhile you can grate 112 grams of cheese of your choice and weigh out 2% of sodium citrate. Once the pasta is cooked through, you want to pour off the excess water in the sink, but make sure there's still enough water in there to create a sauce. Then you're going to pour in the sodium citrate and stir it in to dissolve it, and then follow that with the cheese and mix it until it cooks down and becomes a cohesive sauce. Serve it up, and there you have a macaroni and cheese in its purest form. This is literally macaroni and cheese. Next up, I got something for the vegans out there. So I decided to try this with vegan cheese slices, and it's simple. Boil the pasta, add the sodium citrate, and then the sliced up vegan cheese. I also added in a little bit of a chopped up adobo and chili, and you're gonna mix and melt it just like before, and there you have stovetop vegan mac and cheese. Now, I don't love the flavor of the vegan cheese that I did pick out, but you can't argue with those velvety results. Last up, you can just use sodium citrate in traditional mac and cheese recipe to help with the creaminess. For example, I made the stovetop mac and cheese with aged Gouda. Now, typically aged cheeses aren't great for sauces like this because they're high in fat, meaning they are prone to breaking. However, when boiling the pasta, adding a piece of butter, a dollop of mustard, some milk, and the sodium citrate, we have a mixture ready to emulsify. So then I added in equal parts aged Gouda and some Colby Jack, and we have ooey gooey mac and cheese all over again. So no matter how you like your mac and cheese, sodium citrate can be there to help.
So whether you use sodium citrate to make a mac and cheese without milk or make it vegan or enhance an existing recipe that you have, I think it's a very useful ingredient to have in the pantry. And for like 10 bucks, I mean, this stuff's gonna last a really long time. You can also make the beer cheese like we showed in the recipe. There's really a bunch of ways that this could potentially be used. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop me a like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.